feel like I just wanna cry out to God. Feeling puzzled and stuck, cause life is hard. Gotta do better for the babies, cause they counting on me. Got a lot of weight on my shoulders, feel like a mountain on me. Baby girl just turned 16, a young queen, and I can tell her look in her eyes that it gets everything. I'm not the type to sit back and watch niggas get money. I'm a motherfucking lion, you never seen a nigga this hungry. I'll be living in hell, sometimes I really can't tell. All the niggas that I ran with is either dead or in jail. Are you prepared for the shit you facing? What's a criminal? When they out here killing whole nations, I can't even lie. Options is either rap or die or getting high. Rather sit on my money till I'm sitting high. Do you know how it feels to barely get by? Watching everybody else live a happy life, knowing I should be feeding my family for gripping the mic. So, if you don't love it, then shove it. Always keep your craft first, and don't place nothing above it. Whole clique shining like gold nuggets. Nobody will fall, cause everyone would be each other's crutches. A fairy tale, to keep it real, it's all about clientele. Collect the revenue, that's the name of the game. The feeling of the pain can drive any person insane. You open for anything, hideous creatures about to crawl in. Demons passing through, you ever seen the movie Falling? I done heard my calling, we ballin'. Defense, offense, instincts picking up the fact you fraudulent, I'm evident. Smell like myrrh and frankincense is evident. Sixth sense intelligence, I'm part of a kind that's hard to find. Foes kicking in your residence, trying to find the darkest mind. I'm all about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I always gotta get what I want, and I'm so demanding. God bless the child that can hold his own, I hold the throne. Opposition get a busted dome and a broken nose. I'm Karate Kid of this rap shit. This my crane style. Came down from the heavens just to put my thing down. Where money grow on trees, monkey bitches wanna hang around. If you ain't know, I'm throwing it in a Django. Who you hanging on? I come at you from different angles. Scrape your skin from your flesh like a mango. Psychology like prodigy, you can never feel my pain, bro. What you get out of life is all about what you aim for. Know the path that you're on, cause when you crash, then you go on. And that's what usually happen when you in somebody else's lane, bro. We get so sick, dig a hole about to fall in it. Better watch where you step, cause they bout to have you all in. You open for anything, hideous creatures bout to crawl in. Demons passing through, you ever seen the movie Falling? I done heard my calling, we ballin'. Defense, offense, instincts picking up the fact you fraudulent, I'm evident. Smell like myrrh and frankincense is evident. Sixth sense intelligence, I'm part of a kind that's hard to find. Folks kicking in your residence, trying to find the darkest minds.
Hold on. We'll get a slight disturbance real quick. Sit tight, sit tight. Anybody in the building, I can't see the chat. If you hear peace, much love to you. Thank you for stopping by.
Let me talk to you.
With your boy.
They say don't worry, in a minute it'll all be over with. But nigga, I got babies, I ain't trying to hear that shit. They said Babylon was prophesied to fall. Translation is God's gate. It's something I understanding, dog. That's right. They say we ain't trying to hear your music, it make it stink. We just wanna party, fuck, eat shit and drink. Hit my nigga on the sale, said it's time to link. But I think I'm losing niggas every second I blink. I'm in tune with the forces. I love rocking the forces. Fantasize on my fast cars that come with the horses. And my rapper turn scholar won't beg for a dollar. Music complex like Mozart composing the opera. I'm a nerd with the posture of a shotter. That's right. I'm a geek, but I think like a mobster. What I think is what it is, and what I see is how I get it. You know, Magi, metaphysical masters. You would have thought I'm translating my raps right off of a papyrus. It's like the ink from my pen is hazardous, poison haphazardous. Lyrically premature, unraised bastards. Yeah, this a different cloth. That boss talk just gonna lead you to the edge till you walking off.
One second, sit tight. Let me turn this music off. Should have played the other joint I had in the car with me. Alright family, I can't see the chat, so if anybody in the building with me this morning, much love to you. You know what I'm saying? Stopping by, you know, and basically the topic of today is that is living on earth, living in hell. You know, a big part of my research is delving into different aspects and different fractions of a knowledge as it begins to move through different hands of people. And as this knowledge pertaining to the Egyptian mysteries, as this knowledge begins to move through, we began to see, you know, a different interpretation being formed, you know, and a different philosophy beginning to be molded. And I was reading the Hermetica text, the Corpus Hermetica, and in that text, basically the author was saying that, well, it's a teacher and student conversation, and the author was saying that you know, he was telling the student that, you know, to worship the body is to die. You know, living for the flesh is a sure death. You know, I'm paraphrasing. Basically, this is what he's saying. Living for the flesh is a sure death. And also in the Hermetica, they began to talk about how that the only thing that is good is God, and everything else is evil. And God is the only thing that doesn't change, because everything else is subject to decay or subject to changing, such as the material flesh. It's, you know, it's a time frame in its existence, but the spirit, or the soul, should I say, is eternal. So basically, to cut a long story short, the philosophy is that the body is evil, the physical flesh is evil, but the soul is good. And, you know, it makes a lot of sense, because, you know, when you're dealing with the philosophy of becoming your higher self, the main thing is dealing with ruling the lower nature, and the soul becoming the master, not the body being the master of the soul. And we live in a world today that is, well, it's a physical world. For one, we don't live, you know, we don't live in the spiritual world. So it's like, you know, it's different ways you can play on this. You see what I'm saying? There's different ways you can play on it. It's like, did we come here to be evil? Did we come here to beat evil, beat the evilness, and beat the physical, fleshly desires? Did we come here to beat that, to overcome that, to raise higher than that, and to rule over that? Or did we come here to be evil? Because we are in the physical flesh. If you look at the world today, the world is evil. It's not no way around it. You know, we get caught up in the cycle of just life, and we never sit back and just look and realize at what it takes to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, majority of animals have to consume another animal to live. You know, that's evil in itself. You know what I'm saying? You got lions, tigers, bears, hyenas, and all different type of animals that has to eat another physical, living, breathing animal to live. So, you know, that's evil in itself. And human beings, you know, they eat dead flesh. You know, majority of human beings eat dead flesh. Have to kill an animal. You have to kill life to live. People kill other people every day. People kill other people every day. You got a group of people damn near or is running the whole world. You know, you got resources being withheld from large bodies of people, and people are subjected to poverty just because somebody else rules over them and has the power to do so. You know, black people, or what you call black people, here in America is in bondage here in America, who came over here as prisoners and is subjected to the bondage still from being the descendants of prisoners of war, which is termed slavery. And now we are caught up in the cycle of this reality of a powerless existence, and the power that we do have, we don't recognize it and utilize it. And you forced to slavery because in order to feed yourself, you have to go work for someone. In order to live, in order to take care of your family, you have to go work for someone. Now, there is exceptions made for certain people. And these exceptions give the excuse that, hey, there's something wrong with you. They can do it, you can do it. It's just you're lazy. You're not ambitious enough. You're not, you know, you did something wrong. You know, this is the land of opportunity. And I feel that it's a front. Now, I do believe that you can't have whatever you want in this material existence. That's what I'm not saying. But what I'm saying in itself is that it's evil. You know, like, the whole shit is evil. You know what I mean? It's just evil. If you just sit down and look at the shit, it's evil. You know, and that's just basically what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting back and I'm analyzing how this is evil. And knowing that, you just got to roll with the punches, and you got to take what you know and move forward, and, you know, use what you have to propel yourself to a higher state of existence. If you're born in a family that doesn't have anything, right? Living in a pretty much poor environment, everybody you know lives in a pretty much poor environment. Parents, or if you have both parents, working in a job that's not going to provide them with enough money and resources to get them out of that environment. It just leaves them with enough to survive in that environment that they're subjected to. And then they have children who have nothing. So you go to school, and then they say you need to go to college, you need to get a good education so you can be somebody in the world. But education costs. Now you could have some parents who maybe didn't have a lot of kids, who maybe was very, very smart and saving and with their resources, and did things that could make life a little better for their children. You know, far as saving up, you know, for their college and things like that, to where they don't have to go in debt. Because majority of the time, you go to college, you got to pay for it. And along with paying for this college comes interest. So you're going to school full time, you're trying to better yourself, you're trying to get a degree, and now you're racking up a bill that's going to do nothing but continue to gain interest and owe more money. So by the time you get done with school, you're probably going to be, depending on how far you go to school, let's say you go get a master's degree, something along them lines, you're probably going to be $100,000 in debt or more. So now you already don't have nothing. Okay? Then on top of that, you got to go, majority of the time, 90% of the time, you got to go work for somebody else. So now you got to go slave. And then on top of that, you already $100,000 in debt. Man. So, like, that's just crazy to me. So basically, let's just do it like this. So basically, you got to buy your freedom. That's just what it is. You got to be able to do something so unique and, you know, so profound to get yourself out of perpetual cycle of slavery, of servitude, if I said that right. So that's just one aspect of how we're living in a physical matrix that's evil. You know, we could talk about a fantasy world, or I could talk about a fantasy world and say, look, if the world wasn't evil, it would be this way. But we know that's not going to happen, so it's no reason even to go there and speak about them things. Like, it's enough resources in the world, and for the resources to be spread out equally. There's no reason for impoverished neighborhoods and these things. The impoverished neighborhoods creates the criminal activity. Okay? But people are selfish. Okay? Even black people. Because you got black people that's millionaires that don't distribute their wealth into their communities. So I'm not just saying that, you know, it's just subjected to one race of people, you know, that's stingy with their money. You know, it's not just one race of people that's stingy with their money. It's enough wealthy black people in America to make a difference for black people in America. They just choose not to do it. Okay? So, maybe later on today, I can come back and expound on is living on earth living in hell. But as of right now, I'm going to shut this video down.